Shall we start the session? So this paper, I know, this month or last month? Last month or this month? Almost all the questions look familiar. We'll start with the first 5 questions. What do they deal with? After a long time, para-jumble. So para-jumble, how many sentences are there? 5 sentences or 6 sentences. We'll start with the elimination approach, leading the charge. The charge, somewhere they must have mentioned, so cannot be the first sentence. Nowadays, globalization's opponents seem increasingly to be drowning out its defenders. Possible? Hold that one. Every aspect of globalization, free trade, free movement of capital, and international migration is under attack. This also has a potential. Hold this one. If they get, underline the word they, pronoun cannot be the first sentence. What is the next one? At first glance, the outlook appears grim. Chances are there, hold that one. Can globalization be saved? It's a little tricky, but once you get the first sentence, it should not be a problem. So what is the first sentence here? B is the first sentence. Nowadays, globalization's opponents, underline the word opponents. Opponents means what? Persons, plural, pronoun, they. Remember that one. Seem increasingly to be drowning out the defenders. Now, what is the second sentence? Already they have used a noun. Next, they have to talk about the same persons. They have to use a pronoun. So, where do you see the pronoun? D is the second sentence. If they get their way, they means opponents. If they get their way, the post-World War II international order, which aimed often successfully to advance peace and prosperity through exchange and connection, could well collapse. So please make a note. This is the second sentence. Now the writer asks the question. What is the question? Where do you see the question? F is the question. Can globalization be saved? So what is the third sentence? E or F? F is the third sentence. To this question, the answer is E is the next one. At first glance, the outlook appears grim. You have a doubt? No. Okay. Now, why does it? See, here the question is, first he talks about the attack by opponents. Then he talks about, he uses the pronoun they. If they get their way, it could collapse. What could collapse? The world order, peace, all those things. Then the writer asks the question, can globalization be saved? To that the answer is, at first glance, the outlook appears grim. Now you still have how many sentences? 2 sentences. The answer to this, why does it look grim? He gives a reason. What is the reason here? Every aspect of globalization, like free trade, free movement, capital, and international migration is under attack. This is the 5th sentence. Now, what is the continuity? What is the clue for you? Please underline the word attack. What are the other words for attack? Charge. Now, where do you find the word charge? A. What does A say? Leading the charge or leading the attack are antagonistic forces. Underline the word antagonistic. Antagonistic means hostile, enmity. Write the words hostile, enmity. From populist political parties to separatist groups to terrorist organizations whose actions tend to focus more on what they oppose than on what they support. This is the last sentence. Easy or difficult? Once you get the first sentence, it is easy, otherwise not that easy. And this you cannot make out within the stipulated time period, not that easy. Now we'll see questions. Raghava. The next 5 questions deal with what? Spot the errors. I'll read out the sentence, then I will ask you which part has an error, you have to respond. In the larger scheme of foreign policy, the Obama administration also had to deal by a rising ambitious China and a resurgent, vengeful Russia. Now, which part has an error? How many of you say the fourth part? Fourth part. Which part do you think? Third part. What is the error in the third part? Oh, the numbers have been given from this side. Okay. But where is the error? By is not correct. Now, forget about the numbers, not the usual pattern. So, had to deal, what is wrong with this expression? The word always takes deal with. By is not correct. Change it to with. Oh, 1, 2, 3. There is an error in the third part. Shall I move on to the next one? Make a note, it is related to prepositional combination. Prepositional combination. There are many insurance disputes nowadays because of most people do not fully understand the terms and conditions of their policies. Now, which part has an error? Second part? What is the error? First, you underline the word because. After because, you have to use or you don't have to use. In this context, you should not use. But what is the reason? Why shouldn't you use? Please underline, most people do not fully understand. Is it a phrase or a clause? Most people do not fully understand. Clause, please write clause. If there is a clause, then you should not use a preposition of. If there is no clause but there is a noun, you can use the preposition of. So, write two sentences. Write the first sentence. She came late because she met her childhood friend on the way. She met her childhood friend. When you meet your childhood friend, usually you spend a lot of time. So, she came late because she met her childhood friend. Underline the word because, also underline she met her childhood friend. Is it a phrase or a clause? Write clause. Then you should not use of. Now, write the second sentence with a star mark. She came late because of the heavy rain. She came late because of the heavy downpour. Simple word rain, better word downpour. Because of the heavy downpour. Now, underline downpour. It's a noun. If you use a noun, you can use a preposition of. First sentence is right, so is the second sentence. Shall I move on to the next one? So, please make a note. Question number 7, what is it about? Preposition related or prepositional combination. Question number 8. We had made every effort to ensure that a compromise was reached and that the deal was signed. Now, we will see the verbs here. How many verbs are here? First, you underline had made. Which tense is that? Past perfect. A compromise was reached. Past tense. The deal was signed. Past tense. The whole context goes into the past. Now, do you find any error in this sentence? How many of you say no error? You see an error? What is it? To ensure. There is nothing wrong with that. We had made every effort to do what? To ensure. Perfect. Please underline to ensure. To ensure what? That a compromise was reached. Perfect. So, please make a note. Answer is the fifth option, no error. And write in brackets, the question is about a past context. Past context. Already over. If it is not past, imagine it is something like past to present. Can you use past perfect? No. Which tense are you supposed to use? present perfect. Because the context already over in the past, you have to use past perfect. Shall I move on to the next one? This was given, I think, SBI 16 or 17. I remember one of the students, after taking the exam, he called me and asked, sir, this is what we got. Where is the error? The boy could not spot the error. SBI, same, question number 9. Please put a star mark. The meteorological department predicted. What is the verb here? Underline the word predicted. Is it present or past? Predicted what? That the rains and thunderstorm may continue throughout today. This is very, very difficult. Generally, when you read a sentence like this, you feel absolutely right. No problem as such. But the clue here, put a star mark, the word predicted. Here, predicted is something like said. Below that, you write said. Predicted or said. The word said goes with which topic of English grammar? A reported speech. A reported speech may, it may rain, she may come. When you change it to indirect speech or reported speech, it changes to what? May changes to might. So based on that, where is the error? Here, may is not correct. The meteorological department predicted that the rains and thunderstorm might continue. That is difficult to make out. Please make a note related to reported speech. They haven't used a regular verb said, they have used based on the department, based on the profession, the word predicted. That's what they do. But generally it doesn't come true. That's a different story altogether. Now question number 10. Farmhouse owners in the city who had till now paid property tax for only the built-up area of the plot will soon have to pay tax to the government for vacant land also. Where is the error? Please underline till now. Till now means what? Please make a note. From the past to the present. Make a note this way. First you write past, till now. Also write the expression so far. What is the expression? Till now also means what? So far. So far, till now, which tense are you supposed to use? Present perfect tense. Which tense do you see here? So where is the error? Second part, forget about the part. What is wrong with this? Please strike up the word had, change it to have. Who have paid, not had. And make a note, present perfect tense. Question is related to present perfect tense. Has anyone got all the 5 correct? Oh, that's very good, I appreciate. Now this passage we have got 2 or 3 times. What is this passage about? Juvenile delinquency. Yesterday also I gave the expression. Juvenile means what? Young, adolescent boys and girls. If they resort to violence, there is a specific term. Actually, it goes with sociology. Sociology is a study of the phenomenon of juvenile delinquency. What could be the reasons? Economic reasons, political reasons, social reasons, cultural reasons, or peer pressure. So it's a separate chapter, separate topic. So write the second word, juvenile delinquency. I hope it's clear. What is the spelling? D-E-L-I-N-Q-U-E-N-C-Y, delinquency. Underline the word delinquency. Below that you write crime. Delinquency means what? Crime. So when you say juvenile delinquency, what does it mean? Juvenile crime. Crime committed by juveniles. And I think this is based on the backdrop. What is the backdrop? Something happened in Delhi. Which year? 14 or 15 or before that? 12. You all must be knowing that. I'll read out the first question based on the passage. Which of the following is a synonym of the word clamor? Underline the word clamor. And what is the context here? Ever since a juvenile offender was given a light sentence in the Delhi gang rape case of 2012, under the existing child-friendly laws, there has been a clamor to treat juveniles involved in heinous crimes as adults. So what do you understand clamor? Last time also one student was asking me. Now we'll see the options first, then I will tell what happened that time. Uproar. I'll show the meanings, listen. Uproar means noisy protest. Disturbance, simple word you can understand. Protest, you can understand. Protest means what? Oppose. You don't like something, you oppose something, then what do? You try to protest. Generally, what is the form of the protest? There are so many ways. Some people, they don't speak. At home, imagine, someone is very angry, and there is one particular expression. What is it? In Telugu we say, Sanskrit expression, Mauna Vratam. So, no, there is some movie dialogue, no dialogues, only action. And that is one way of protesting. Second, you take a company, employees are not happy, they protest. In our country, what they try to do, they don't work, they go on strike. In Japan, what they do, they work more. Imagine they're supposed to produce 100 watches, they'll produce 300 watches. That is also dangerous. Too good is too bad. That is how they show their protest. And some people, they damage the public property. They resort to vandalism. And that is also a protest. Some people, they take the placards. What is the meaning of the word placard? Please write the word placard. They hold something and a wooden thing, a cardboard thing. On that they write something and they just show that placard. Placards are used at the time of the protest. Also, when you go to the airport, someone is coming from abroad and you don't know who the guy is, and you represent a particular company, you hold a placard so that the person can make out who has come and who does he represent. So all these are ways of protesting. Transition. What is the meaning of the word transition? Change. Transition means what? Change. I strongly believe CCE students are changing. Right or wrong? I see a lot of change. None of these. Now what do you think the answer is? When I said this, now I'll talk about what happened last time. When I gave the answer, the first option, uproar, a student asked me, sir, why not protest? I think you. Am I right? No. I don't remember the student. But protest doesn't talk about the noisy nature. Clamor talks about noisy protest, and the word uproar also talks about the noisy dimension of protest. So what is the answer based on that? Similar or opposite? First option, uproar. Now write the meanings of these words. First you write clamor, a loud and confused noise. The clue for you, noise. Especially that of people shouting. Uproar. Again underline the word, a loud and impassioned noise. They are related. Clamor, uproar. And write the combinations. Where do you see this clamor or uproar? Please write Parliament. There was an uproar in the Parliament, a typical newspaper sentence. Also write assembly. Transition, the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. The state of changing from one condition to another condition. Write one more word. Please write the word metamorphosis. Have you heard of this any time? I hope the letters are clear. Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis also means change, transformation. This is a biology term, and generally when we talk about evolution, we use the word metamorphosis. And usually evolution is progressive, and change is progressive. But sometimes what happens, the change is, in the evolution, it is always ascending. Sometimes it goes back, then it is descending. When the evolutionary process, a particular animal, in this context, a tadpole. If you take evolution of animals, first we had invertebrates. You know the word invertebrates, without the backbone. Then we got the vertebrates. Vertebrates, first we got the fish, then we got amphibians, then we got reptiles, then we got aves, then we got mammals. This is the evolutionary tree. From fish we got amphibians, both land and water. From that we got reptiles, then birds, then mammals. So when you take a tadpole, where do you come across a tadpole? The life history of a frog. So tadpole has gills. Gills go with a fish. Fish to amphibians, but tadpole goes back to the fish stage. That is known as a reverse, going in the backward direction. Then there is one term for that. Please write the word. That is an important word. Please write the word retrogressive. We call it retrogressive metamorphosis. Progressive opposite retrogressive. I wanted you to learn that word. Retrogressive means opposite of progressive. Shall I move on to the next question? Which of the following is a synonym of the word heinous, heinous crime? Biggest, abhor, despicable, atrocious, none of these. Atrocious. Please write the fourth option. And what is the context here? They commit heinous offenses such as murder and rape. That cannot be excused. Now write the meaning of the word. Heinous means what? Of a person or a wrongful act, especially a crime. Utterly odious or wicked. Something very bad. But if you take the word abhor, abhorrence, it goes more with, underline the word disgust, disgusting. You hate something a lot. You don't feel like looking at it or doing it, then we use the word disgusting. Despicable, deserving hatred and contempt. Loathsome, detestable, all are synonyms. All these go with crime, crime-related words, bad words. Shall I change? Or you're still writing? What is the last word? Despicable, deserving hatred and contempt. Loathsome. And what is the last word? Detestable. Have you? Now, please write the meaning of the word atrocious. Horrifyingly wicked or brutal, barbaric, savage. You have got these words many a time. Shall I read out the next one? Question number 13. What does the author mean by the phrase forward-looking aspects of the bill? This is a little tricky. The unknown-looking phrases in the bill. Does it sound right? Mark it wrong. The loopholes in the bill. No, mark it wrong. Write the meaning of the expression loopholes. Loopholes means what? The gaps or something that is not clear, ambiguous. So some people try to exploit that ambiguity. Then we use the word loophole. You can say gap also, absolutely no problem. Future facet of the bill. Hold this one. Future success of the bill. But here underline the word forward-looking aspects. What is the word you are supposed to underline? Aspects. What is the other word for aspect? Underline the word facet. Both mean the same. Write one expression, multifaceted personality. Multifaceted. Have you heard of this expression any time? Multifaceted means, right, multidimensional. Some people, they are good at so many things. Then how do you describe those people? Multifaceted personality. Write the expression, multifaceted personality. And some companies deal with many products. Then we use the word or expression with a company. Also write the expression, multifaceted company. So here it does not talk about forward-looking aspects of the bill. So future facet of the bill, future dimension of the bill. The answer is the third option. Choose the appropriate title for the passage. This is very difficult. Generally, when you see the word scales, singular or plural, what do you think? The regular scale that is part of a typical student. But here scale means what? Balance. Please make a note. Balance. If you go to a court, you see something near the judge. What do you see? The lady, blindfolded lady, holding a balance. For that we use the word scales also. Now this passage talks about the justification or the punishment, whatever it is. Adults one angle or one dimension, juveniles another dimension, whether it can be justified or not. Imagine the crime is barbaric, does it matter the person is young or old? How can you leave that person based on the age factor? Can it be justified? It cannot be justified, especially this Delhi incident. The boy was very barbaric, cannot be excused. He should have been hanged, in my opinion. You understand what I say? Only one thing, no second thoughts at all. So based on that, hold the first option, we'll see the other options. The loopholes and the cabinet bill. Is a passage related to that? Not at all, mark it wrong. Bill and its role, these are all general terms. Never select based on general terms. The cabinet and the bill, again, juveniles, this passage is all about juveniles. Humane or inhumane. Now you have to decide between the first one and the fifth one. But it all talks about justification, whether they should be punished, not punished. So which word seems better? It is not related to their behavior, it is related to the law, the judiciary, how they should be punished or treated. So based on that, what is the answer? Unequal scales for juveniles. Unequal balance, it means. Cannot be justified. It is not that easy to make out. Now question number 15. Which of the following is true according to the passage? I will read out, you respond. The government is going to have a differential system for those involved in crimes. No, they cannot have it. Juveniles separate treatment, it has been criticized, so mark it wrong. Justice J.S. Verma committee recommended the changes in juveniles' age. I think it is quite opposite. What is the third option? The cabinet has cleared the new form of the bill mentioned in the passage. Hold that one. The government is going to train policemen and will not hire psychologists and whatever it is. But answer is what? The option number 3. The third option is the answer. Now question number 16. Which of the following is not true? Please underline not true according to the passage. The present framework classifies offences as petty. Please underline the word petty. Petty means what? Not serious, petty crime. We also use the expression petty cash. Write two expressions. One is petty crime, C-R-I-M-E. Write the other one, petty cash. You all must be knowing this, petty cash. Serious and heinous, and treats each category under a different process. Not right? The Supreme Court never felt the need to change the law. Third option is what? Parliamentary committee has approved the provision that a person who had committed an offense when aged between 16 and 18, but was apprehended only after crossing the age of 21. Is this true or not true? Based on the passage, it is not true. So what is the answer? The third option is the answer. Question number 17. Which of the following is a synonym of the word rigorous? First you write the word rigorous. We don't use this form, we use the form rigorous. And also write the combinations, rigorous training, rigorous training. Also write rigorous coaching. So what do you understand? Rigorous training, something very strict and demanding more of your energy or focus or your talent, whatever it is. Now rigorous, disregard, is it the answer? Diligence, hold that one. Lethargy. Now rigorous, do you think it's a positive word or a negative word? Positive. But lethargy means what? Very lazy, not simply lazy, extremely lazy. It's a negative word. Ignorance, negative word. Negligence, negative word. Disregard, also a negative word. So only one word can be considered. Which one is that? Write the meaning of the word diligence. Diligence means what? Hard working. Hard working. Rigors of something. Now write the meaning of the word rigors. Extremely thorough and careful. Extremely thorough. That involves a lot of hard work, hardship, whatever. Extremely thorough and careful. I'm going to show some more words. Write the meaning of the word disregard. Pay no attention to. Also ignore. You ignore someone, then you can use the word disregard. Pay no attention. Diligence, that's a very good word. Hard work. Diligent is the adjective form. Diligence is the noun form. Lethargy, a lack of energy and enthusiasm. Sluggish. Generally the word sluggish goes with snails. A snail is a very sluggish animal. It moves very slowly. Sluggish and lethargic. Some people are very slow to do the work. Then what do you say? Lethargic person. Now shall I move on to the next question? What is the question number? 18. Which of the following is a synonym of the word heeded? Heed means what? What is the context? It has heeded the parliamentary committee's objection to clause 7. So what do you understand? Listened, considered, cared for. Any of these? He wants the synonym. Ignore, is it right? Forget, no. Overlook, all are negative words. Notice, hold that one. Neglect. Only one positive word. Which one is that? Notice. What is the answer based on that? Write the meaning of the word heed. Heeded is a past form. Pay attention to. Take notice of. Also write one more meaning. Heeded means listen to. Listen to. Pay attention to. Take notice of. Shall I read out the next one? What is the intention of the author behind this article? So why has he written? To applaud the government's step of clearing the new bill on juvenile conviction, to justify the new bill cleared by cabinet, to give the pros and cons of the new bill as per common man. Whether you read the passage or not, any writer he or she writes with a particular purpose. Usually if it is about the government policy or project or a particular decision, they always try to be objective. When they try to be objective, they always talk about the pros and cons. If they are subjective, they write either about pros or about cons. But being objective, balanced, composed, they have to write the pros and the cons objectively. So based on that, what is the answer? To give the pros and cons of the new bill as per common man. To thrash the government, the writers will never do that. So what is the answer? The third option, write the meaning of the word thrash. Thrash means what? To beat. To beat severely. You got this word, you have got it recently. Rehabilitation, synonym. Damage, no. Re-establishment, yes. Hurt, injury, harm. Rehabilitation, last time I told you it goes with, one, it goes with whenever there is a natural disaster, people get evacuated, they are taken to rehabilitation camps, one. Number two, whenever we talk about drug addicts, we talk about rehabilitation or de-addiction ward. They are not taken, in the past they were taken to the so-called mental hospitals, but now we use the word asylums. But now, because they also change, doctors also change, drug addicts are taken to de-addiction wards or rehabilitation centers. So answer is the second option. I would like to ask a question, but not now, after the session, okay? Do remember. Now questions 21 to 30, what do they deal with? Easy or difficult? Rather difficult. If you don't know the context, you cannot make out, very simple. If you know the context, you don't have to think of grammar knowledge. It doesn't make any sense at all. While reading itself, before you see the options, you know which word goes with that particular blank or sentence. As simple as that. We live on a parched planet. Please underline the word parched. You have got this word many a time. Parched means what? Sun-baked, dried out, dried by heat. I gave one expression, do you remember? I think I gave sun-baked. First time I gave the word sun-baked, after that I gave one more, scorched. Write the word scorched. Scorching heat. Write the combination, scorching heat. In peak summer, we use the expression scorching heat. We say, I am not able to bear this scorching heat. That is true, okay? In peak winter, we say, I am not able to bear this biting cold. Write the expression, biting, B-I-T-I-N-G, biting cold. Don't ask me, sir, where does it bite? Okay, it is only an expression, biting cold, scorching heat. We live in a parched planet, farmers till, underline the word till. What do you understand here? Till means what? Plow. Please write the word. What is the spelling of that word? P-L-O-U-G-H. To make the land loose, before they sow seeds, they do that. Till. Farmers till arid. Underline the word arid. Arid means what? Dry. Arid, pasture land. And policy makers fret over. Please underline the word fret. Fret means worry, become anxious, point out, fret over, make a fuss. Remember the word fuss, fret over, to get worried, to create a big scene. At home, usually it goes with mothers. Some mothers, small things, they make a big scene. Then what do we say? Don't worry, don't fret over that. Why do you get tensed up? Why do you get worried? These are usual things. Fret over what? Empty reservoirs, dry rivers, and thirsty cities. Thirsty cities, usually it goes with persons, but he has used, it's a good expression, please underline, thirsty cities means what? Cities want water, they badly need water. What is the reason? Today we don't have the groundwater. You go to Amirpet, you are here, you go to SR Nagar, you go to Vengalrao Nagar, no groundwater. 50 feet, 100 feet, 200 feet. So the city badly needs water. So it is thirsty. And what is a word that goes, imagine you're very thirsty and you badly need water. There's one expression, please write the word. Then we use a word, you will say, I want to quench my thirst. Quench my thirst, not thirsty. Quench your thirst means come out of that feeling of being thirsty. I want to quench my thirst with a thumbs up or Coke, whatever it is, or a bottle of cold water. Quench. And that only remedied. Now here you have to decide whether the given word is right or wrong. That only remedied the surface. Does it sound right? Wrong. Write the meaning of the word remedy. Remedy means what? Solution. Please write. Solution. Also write rectify. Rectify. And write one expression, remedial. We use this expression quite often. Some people have written books with this title, Remedial Grammar. Have you heard of that? Remedial grammar means what? Here and there, some people are good at English grammar, but they make a few mistakes here and there. And remedial grammar, the book focuses on those common errors. When they learn those, how to avoid those common errors, their English becomes flawless or impeccable. Means what? Perfect. Now what is, that is not right, remedied is not correct, and that only, we'll see the sentence, that only the surface, literally, of the world's water problem. I really wonder how you guys do it. I really wonder. You cannot do it on the basis of grammar knowledge. You cannot do it on the basis of word combinations. If you're not aware, then you have to make a wild guess. Am I right? But if you read a lot, when you read, look at the world's water problem and underline the word surface. Only the surface. When you talk about a problem could be, you talk in terms of the surface of the problem, the depth of the problem, and you touch the surface. Then we use one expression, we use the word scratch. We have just scratched the surface. We have just scratched. It is positive as well. Imagine you have come across a gold mine and you have got the top layer. So much is there. Then what do you say? We have just scratched the surface. There is a big mine underneath. Do you understand what I say? So what is the right word here? Please write, first you make a note, scratches. And that only scratches the surface, literally, of the world's water problem. We have just touched the surface of the water problem. Now write the meaning of the word capitulate. What is the meaning? I have given some time back. Capitulate means what? Surrender or yield. First you write the word surrender. Then you write the word yield. What is the spelling? Y-I-E-L-D. Yield has got two different meanings. One meaning is positive. It goes with crop management or cultivation. When we talk about after cultivating something, a particular crop, we ask the question, how is the yield? Means the result. But the negative connotation, she has yielded to the pressure or he has yielded to the pressure. Is it positive or negative? Means what? Submitted, surrendered. So here it is a negative meaning. Now, draft, easy word. What is the next option? Cured, easy word. Shall I move on to the next one? Subterranean. Please underline the word subterranean. Sub means what? Under. Submarine. Not marine, submarine. Subterranean. Aquifers. These are permeable rocks which allow water to pass through, and sometimes they hold water. Aquifer. Aqua is a root. Aqua means what? Water. So you can make out it is related to water. Subterranean aquifers which amount to the world's reserve water tank, they are like world's reserve water tank, are also running dry. If this continues, the commencement, now the previous sentence talks about positive or negative. Even the aquifers are drying, they are getting dried out, that is negative. Can you use the word commencement? Commencement is a positive word, so mark this wrong. If this continues, you have to use a negative word. Forfeit, that's an important word. Please write the meaning of that word. Forfeit means to lose. To lose, what is the spelling? L-O-S-C. To lose or be deprived of. Be deprived. Deprived. D-E-P-R-I-V-E. Be deprived of something as a punishment. Be deprived of something as a punishment. Generally, this goes with, last time also I told, it goes with elections. Please write brackets, elections. Generally, at the time of elections, the candidates have to deposit some amount, 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs, in assurance that they will get minimum number of votes. Otherwise, what happens? Every Tom, Dick and Harry will contest, and it becomes a headache for the election commission. Imagine in a particular constituency, every Tom, Dick and Harry can contest. Then you will see about 200 or 300 names. Is it practical? So they need a check. What is a check? Whoever wants to contest has to deposit some amount, assuring that I will get these many votes. If they get, that money will be returned. If they don't get, then everyday English, common man's point of view, a layman's point of view, we say he has lost his deposit. You must have heard many a time. But here we have to use a technical word, forfeited. His amount has been, his deposit has been forfeited. That means what? He hasn't got enough number of votes. So as a penalty, that amount will not be returned. Do you understand? What is the meaning you have written? Be deprived of, as a punishment or penalty. Write the word penalty. Now, does it go with this context? No. Then what is the second option here? Flux. Flux means outflow of something. Outflow. First you write the word outflow. Also write the word discharge. Also write the word ooze. O-O-Z-E. Something coming out of a particular source. But generally we don't use this word in this form. Please write one important word. Influx. This goes with effective English and we use. And write the combinations. Influx of tourists. Influx of tourists. A lot of tourists visiting a particular place, and because you're all prospective bankers, imagine a particular city attracts the multinational companies. You see a lot of foreign banks coming to that particular city and opening branches. Then you write the expression, influx of foreign banks. Influx of foreign banks. A lot of foreign banks coming and opening the branches. Consequences, seems right or wrong? Hold that one. Continuity, no. So here, if this continues, what continues? Something negative. What is negative? Aquifers, they get dried. Then, if this continues, the consequences could be dire. Underline the word dire. Dire means very severe, very severe. Badly in need of something. Write a few combinations. Dire situation, dire conditions. And in this context, consequences could be dire. What I've noticed, when I try to explain a passage or a clause, a lot of students get disconnected. In the beginning, when I started, it would be more with passage and Passage and close at the same level. Over a period of time, Passage, they started listening to me. They don't get disconnected. They are there almost. But close, still there is a problem. If it is a simple passage, they can relate to, they listen. Something like this, they are not with the faculty member. In their thoughts, they are somewhere else. Physically here, but mentally somewhere else. That's what I noticed, this particular, because all these words, all these blanks, what is he talking about, what is going on? Introspection, why are we here? Please write, what is the answer here? Consequences, the third option. Consequences could be dire, especially for water-stressed and fast-growing Asia. Now I'll continue. Please be attentive for 5 minutes, then we'll finish off. Subterranean aquifers are repositories. What is the given word here? Repository. That's a very good word. Write the meaning of that. A place where something is stored. A place where something is stored. S-T-O-R-E-D, stored. You store something at one place, that is known as repository. Subterranean aquifers are repositories of water located deep underground. So does it seem right or wrong, the word repositories? Absolutely right. Please mark it. What is the option here? No need of any correction. In unpermeable rock, soil or sand, located deep underground where? In unpermeable. Unpermeable means not allowed. Permeable, allowed. So here you have to say permeable or unpermeable. Which option says that? Now 23 is what? No correction required. I will tick that one. Otherwise, some students may say, Murthy sir doesn't tick the option. He simply says and leaves it like that. And 24, what is the answer? Exhaust, permeable. Happy? So permeable. No, just to make you happy, I talk that way. Write you all know the word exhaust. Exhaust means what? Now right now, you are exhausted listening to me. I am exhausted talking to you or teaching to you. Everyone is exhausted. Why? Because of the passage or because of the heat? Because of the scorching heat. Am I right? Now, I will ask a question. What is the difference between exhaust and exhaustive? Don't look at me like that. I want the answer immediately. I've given exhaustive many a time. Let me ask one more question. The word exhaustive goes with what? A classroom, syllabus, books, or something else? Syllabus. So exhaustive means what? Complete. That you have to recollect. And what are the other words? Exhaustive syllabus, comprehensive syllabus. Write two words. Exhaustive, comprehensive. And what is the combination? Syllabus. But exhaust has a different meaning altogether. Some people, you are actually like that. Morning to evening you listen and you are not exhausted. Right? Then what is the word for people like you? I teach for an hour, I get exhausted, but you are here morning sharp 7 o'clock. Some of the students, 7 to 10, 10 to 1, 2 to 5, 5:30 to 8:30. Sudhir sir says 9 to 12. Ready, sir? We are there for you. You don't get exhausted. What is the word? Indefatigable. Remember the word indefatigable. Write the word indefatigable. Means you don't get exhausted. You are always energetic. Let them teach. We will come and listen. No problem. Morning to evening. Shall I continue? And they contain about 100 times the amount of water found on the Earth's surface in emanation. Write the meaning of the word emanate. Emanate means to come out of a particular source. Come out of a source. Flow. You can also write emanate. Flow, come out, originate, ooze, all these words. But here this is based on parallel expression. This sentence talks about the various water bodies. What are the water bodies mentioned in this sentence? Please underline lakes, rivers and wetlands. So can you use a word like emanation? Does it go with parallel expression? You have to select another water body. Streams, is it a water body? Yes, hold that one. Outpouring, not correct. Continuance, not correct. Plethora, not a water body. We'll see the meanings later. So what is the answer here? Emanation is not correct. We have to use a water body, that is streams. And what is the 26th blank? Wetlands. Wetlands is a water body. So do you have to change? So what is the answer based on that? So I will tick the 5th option. Okay. Now we'll see the words. Outpouring. Outpouring also means going out. Discharge. Write the words. Discharge, ooze, flow out. Flow out in large quantities. Outpouring. Here the degree is more. Discharge or outpouring. Continuance, something that continues, easy to make out. And plethora, this is an important word. Plethora means what? Abundance of something. Too many of something. And I've given many a time plethora of coaching institutes. Plethora of spoken English institutes. But no one speaks English, that's a different thing. They speak fluent Telugu and they say how to speak English. That is the best part of it. And they have made a fortune. Make a fortune means what? Make a lot of money. That is really amazing. We should blame the person or we should blame the people who go to that person. That's a $1 million question. And in this city, we come across all sorts of strange things. When I came from Bangalore way back in 2007, I saw one particular ad in the newspaper, Inaudu paper, learn English in 1 day. How can you learn English in 1 day? Then I became very inquisitive and curious. I asked people, who is this guy? That fellow doesn't have brain, but do people go to him? Sir, he has thousands of students. That is unbelievable. Now, how can you learn a language in 1 day? That is height of foolishness. And adding something like fuel to the fire, that fellow has got thousands of students. If today people can speak English in 1 day, India would have become like Britain. Indians are very intelligent, they're very sharp, they grasp just like that. Every Tom, Dick and Harry would have been speaking fluent English and impeccable English. But what is the reality, ground reality? Professors, doctors, engineers, they struggle to speak perfect English, am I right? Then how the hell can you speak in 1 day? God only knows, okay? But that is Hyderabad, everything is possible. If you are in Central Africa, South America, or some parts of Europe, what is the other word for South America? Latin America. Latin America. So if you are in Central America, South America, or some parts of Europe, you are probably standing just a few hundred feet above one. Surface water resources such as desalinated seawater, please underline the expression, desalinated seawater. They take seawater, they process that seawater, and they make the seawater fresh water, and people can have that water. If you can have a particular vegetable, what is the word for that? Edible. Please write the word edible. Edible mushrooms. You know the word edible. But in one exam they gave the question, if you can have water, there is some water body, and you cannot drink just like that. First you have to test whether it is, you can have it or it is poisonous. Imagine that water can be consumed or you can have that water. What is the word for that? Please write the word portable. Portable, you know the word. Remove the letter R. What do you get? Portable. Portable water. Water that can be consumed. They gave in 1 or 2 exams, remember that word. So desalinated seawater or recycled wastewater. It is so unfortunate. Today some people are having recycled wastewater. That is disgusting and very unfortunate. Do you understand what I say? Will not close the global gap. Still, there's a problem. Predicted to reach 40% by 2030 between water supply and demand. So subterranean aquifers are increasingly being disinherit. Inherit to get something, usually a property. Inheritance, what is the noun form of that? Inheritance. Does it go with this context? No. What are the options? Dissipate. Dissipate means to waste something, to use something in a wasteful manner. Please write dissipate. to use in a wasteful manner. Especially it goes with resources. Dissipate the resources, waste the resources, or to spend the resources lavishly, lavish or extravagant. Write two words, one is lavish, the other is extravagant. Do you think that is the right word? Yes, sir. No, sir. I will repeat the question. Do you think it is the right word? No, sir. Thank you. Now, increased, the context is positive or negative. So, water is being exploited, water resources are being exploited and too many people, then shortage of water, negative context. So, subterranean aquifers are increasingly being, increased you cannot use, exploited. So, what do you think the answer is? Exploited, hold that one, enlarged, not correct. All these we find very easy. Before you see the options, you should be able to, but based on what? Not that we are intelligent. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with the expertise. It all depends on the reading habit. When you read a lot, then obviously, you know, before you see the options, in this context, the word is this. You don't have to wait for the options. Now, I want one particular day they have to ask questions where you see the blanks, you don't see the words, and you have to guess the right word. That is what I call standards, hallmark. Do you understand what I say? Okay. Now we'll see. What is the answer here? Third option, exploited for agriculture, power generation, and daily use in fast-growing cities. And he gives a fact. Today about 30%, is it the last one? No, we have. Okay, I will not read that text. And 1/3 of the 37 largest aquifers studied by the University of California between 2003 and 2013 were severely augmented. Again, your context is positive or negative? Negative. Augmented is positive or negative? Means what? Increased. So you cannot consider the word augmented. Severely desert. But here, what is a part of speech you are supposed to use? A verb. Desert, which part of speech is it? It's a noun. Depleted. Deplete means what? To use up completely or to make something thin by using extensively. And write one combination, this word goes with depletion of ozone layer. Sometimes you get as a passage, depletion of ozone layer. Ozone layer has become very thin. We use the word depletion. Hold that one. Thirsty. Can you use the word thirsty here? Waterless. No. Obviously, what is the answer? Was severely depleted, receiving little or no replenishment. That's a very good word. Replenish means what? Refill, resupply. Please write refill or resupply. How do you get water? Refill, rainfall, obviously. Now we'll see 29. But Asia's aquifers, many of which were formed millennia ago, when areas like northern China had a more humid climate. Humid climate. Seems right or wrong? Seems right. Humid means what? Moisture. Please write the word, exact word, moisture. Moisture means water related, obviously. Moistureless, that's a negative word you cannot use. Parched, dry, sun-baked, you cannot use. Unstable, not relevant here. Wobbly, shaking, not relevant here. So what is the answer here? No correction. No, let me tick that one. I want to be careful. No correction required. You have a doubt? Shake, shake. Imagine someone drinks a lot. You have imagined already. So I will not tell. Now we'll move on. I don't know what time is it, 3:05. What is the last sentence? Province? No. Instead, boreholes are getting deeper and water tables are filling. In Pakistan's Punjab province, overpumping is lowering the water table by up to a half meter, 20 inches per year, threatening future food and water security and making thirsty crops like, again he has thirsty cities. Here what is the expression? Thirsty crops. That means they need more water. thirsty crops like sugarcane and rice, fragile to grow. Can you use the word fragile? Delicate to grow? Not at all. Thirsty crops, barren to grow. Barren goes with land. Vulnerable to grow? No. Delicate. If you reject fragile, you cannot consider the word delicate. Tougher to grow. Because these are thirsty crops, water shortage is there, it becomes tougher. So what is the answer? Shall I stop here? With your kind permission, I would like to stop here.